Hey everyone, welcome back to Anjanadri Academy where we are about to study a chapter that will leave you burning with the knowledge of heat. Yes, the chapter 4 heat of class 7. Here we are going to study the modes of heat transfer based multiple choice questions with a quick revision. Let us see the very first question. A marble tile would feel cold as compared to a wooden tile on a winter morning because the marble tile is a better conductor of heat than wooden tile. Option B is polished while wooden tile is not polished. Option C, it reflects more heat than wooden tile. And option D, it is a poor conductor of heat than wooden tile. The correct answer is option A. It is a better conductor of heat than wooden tile. Therefore, the correct answer is option A for this question. Let us move for the next question. A beggar wrapped himself with a few layers of newspaper on a cold winter night. This helped him to keep himself warm because friction between the layers of newspaper produces heat. Air trapped between the layers of the newspaper is a bad conductor of heat. Newspaper is a conductor of heat. Option D. Newspaper is at high temperature than the temperature of the surrounding. The correct answer is option B. As air is an insulator, the air trapped between the layers of newspaper is a bad conductor of heat. The correct answer is option B for this question. Here is the next question. A and B measured their body temperature. A found hers to be 98.6 degree Fahrenheit and B recorded 37 degree centigrade. Which of the following statement is true? A has a higher body temperature than B. A has a lower temperature than B. Both have normal body temperature. Both are suffering from fever. The correct answer is option C. Both are having normal body temperature because 37 degrees centigrade is the normal temperature of a healthy person. Therefore, 37 degrees centigrade is equal to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature can be expressed in various units like degree centigrade and Fahrenheit. And this 37 degree centigrade is equivalent to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Let us see the next question. Shopkeepers selling ice blocks usually cover them with jute sacks. Why? See here we can see the ice block is being covered with a jute sack because to protect from dust, jute sack are cheap materials. Jute is a good conductor of heat. They must use insulating material like sacks or dust, newspaper, etc. to cover the ice. Here they are using this jute material because it is a poor conductor of heat and it is this jute bag does not allow the ice to melt very easily, therefore it is being used. The correct answer for this question is option D. Let us move for the next concept, the types of thermometer. The first type of thermometer is clinical thermometer. It is used to measure the temperature of the human body. Generally, we know that the temperature of a healthy person is 37 degrees centigrade and it never goes 35 degrees centigrade below 35 degrees centigrade and it never crosses up 42 degrees centigrade. Therefore, the range of the thermometer is from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. This is a clinical thermometer. In this thermometer, mercury metal is being used. Here is the next type of the thermometer, that is laboratory thermometer. It is used to measure the temperature of the non-living things and the range of these thermometers is usually from minus 10 degrees centigrade to 110 degrees centigrade. One more type of thermometer is digital thermometer. It is also used to measure the temperature of the human body. Let us see the next question, which is based on the usage of the thermometer. Milan wants to measure the temperature of his body and that of boiling water. One is living thing and one is non-living thing here, that is body and boiling water. Which thermometer should he choose? Whether he has to use clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer, digital thermometer. We know that clinical thermometer can be used to measure the body temperature and laboratory thermometer can be used to measure the temperature of the boiling water, and also we studied that digital thermometer can be used to measure the body temperature. Therefore, type 1 and 3 can be used for measuring the body temperature and laboratory thermometer can be used to measure the boiling water temperature. Therefore, the correct answer is option A from these given four options. Therefore, the correct answer is option A for this particular question. For the next question, which is based on how to read a thermometer. See here, she had given figure A to D. 4 figures shows that a student reading a doctor's thermometer, which of the figure indicates the correct method of reading the temperature. When we are reading a temperature, it should be held exactly straight to your eyes. Therefore, directly we can eliminate option B and C. But in option D, she is holding the bulb of the thermometer in hand, which is incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is option A from the given 4 figures. If we touch the bulb of the thermometer, it takes the temperature of our body, which is incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is option A is the correct for this figure. Let us move for the next question. A laboratory thermometer A is kept 7 centimeter away on the side of the flame, while a similar thermometer B is kept 7 centimeter above the flame of a candle as shown in the figure. Which of the thermometers A or B will show a greater rise in temperature? Give your reasons for this question. See, exactly as the candle is burning, the air exactly over it gets heated and it rises up. Therefore, the temperature of the thermometer B increases, whereas the temperature of the thermometer A will not show any much increment in the temperature. Therefore, the correct answer is option B for this question. As the flame over the candle increases the temperature of the air over it, thermometer B will show a greater rise in temperature because hot air rises up or air on the top of the candle flame is getting heated by convection. Let us move for the next question. To keep her soup warm, Meena wrapped the container in which it was kept with a woolen cloth. Can she apply the same method to keep a glass of cold drink cool? Give your reasons for your answer. Yes, wool is a poor conductor of heat or insulator. Therefore, it can be used for this purpose. This wool helps in preventing the escape of heat from the bottle to outside, and also it prevents the outside hotness to affect the liquid inside the cool. Therefore, it is the best material as it is not allow the inside hotness or coldness to go outside, or it will not allow the outside hotness to affect the inside liquid that is in the bottle. Therefore, the correct answer for this is it can be used for the cooling purpose also there, because wool is a poor conductor of heat. Let us move for the next concept or question. In a mercury thermometer, the level of mercury rises when its bulb comes in contact with a hot object. What is the reason for this rising level of mercury? Because mercury expands when heated, hence it rises in the capillary tube. As soon as we touch the bulb of the mercury, and mercury expands immediately. Therefore, this is the answer for this question. Mercury expands when heated. The next question is, a circular metal loop is heated at point O as shown in the figure. Here it is heated. In which direction would heat flow in the loop? We know that it is being heated at the center, and metal is a good conductor of heat. It moves in both directions. It moves from O to R as well as from O to P. The heat will flow in both directions, that is from O to P and O to R. Here is the next question. A circular metal loop is heated at point O as shown in the figure. In which order the pins at P, Q and R fixed with the help of wax fall if P points O, P, Q and R equidistant from each other? Here we are heating the circular loop at O, and the heat will transfer from O to P and P to Q, similarly from O to R and R to Q. See, the R and P will be heated simultaneously, and at the same time the pins will fall down. At first the pins at R and P will fall simultaneously, followed by the pin at Q, because R and P are placed at equidistant from O. Here is the next question. In the arrangements A and B shown in the figure, pins P and Q are fixed to a metal loop and an iron rod with the help of a wax. In which case are both the pins likely to fall at different times? Explain. In this figure, A, the points P and Q are at equidistant from the heat source, therefore they will be heated at the same point. But here in this case, P is very close to the heat source and Q is far away from the heat source. Therefore, in case B, the pin P will fall before the pin Q because the heat will reach pin P first. In case A, the heat travels in both directions and pins P and Q will fall simultaneously. Here is the next question. For setting curd, a small amount of curd is added to a warm milk. The microbes present in the curd help in setting if the temperature of the mixture remains approximately between 35 degrees centigrade and 40 degrees centigrade. At places where room temperature remains much below the range, setting of curd becomes difficult. We know that. Suggest a way to set curd in such a situation. In order to maintain the desired temperature of the mixture, the container can be wrapped either by woolen material or any other material of conductor which is a poor conductor of heat. Alternatively, the mixture can kept in a heat resistant material. See, we can use the containers which are wrapped with wool. The container can be kept in the sun or near the gas stove while cooking so that setting of curd will be very easy. You may have noticed that a few sharp jerks are given to clinical thermometers before using it. Why is it done so? Because the jerk to the thermometer will allow the mercury in or above the kink to flow into the bulb so that the mercury level is below the normal temperature. To bring it below the normal temperature of 37 degrees centigrade, we are giving a jerk before we use it. That is the reason for this action. Let us move for the next question. Why is it advised not to hold the thermometer by its bulb while reading it? Because here it is the bulb. If we touch it while reading, what happens? The mercury expands immediately. If you hold the thermometer by its bulb, the mercury in the bulb will expand immediately. The next question is, at a campsite there are tents of two shades, one made with black fabric and the other with white fabric. Which one will you prefer for resting on a hot summer afternoon? Give a reason for your choice. Would you like to prefer the same tent during the winter? See, here are the two tents. One is white in color. As soon as it receives sunlight, the sun rays are being reflected from the white tent fabric, and as soon as the sun rays falls on the black fabric, what happens? These rays are being absorbed by the black fabric. Therefore, on a hot summer afternoon, the tent made up of white fabric will be preferred, as white color is a bad absorber and is a good reflector of heat. But we the black fabric tent is used during winter season because it absorbs the sun rays and keeps us warm during the winter season. Therefore, this black fabric tent is used for the winter season, and white fabric tents are used in the summer season. This is the science behind that. Here is the next question. While constructing a house in a coastal area, in which direction should the windows preferably face and why? The windows preferably face the sea because the windows of houses in coastal areas should preferably face towards the sea, as sea breeze will keep it cool and during the daytime. Let us see, it is a land area and this is a sea area. So during daytime the land gets heated very fastly, therefore the hot air rises and it moves towards the sea, and the air above the sea is cooler and is being pushed towards the land, and this is known as cool air or sea breeze. As it is coming from sea, I call it as a sea breeze. Here is the next question. The length of wire PQ in case A is equal to the diameter of the semicircle formed by the wire CDE in case B. One pin is attached to each wire with the help of which pin will fall first. Explain. Let us see in figure A, the length of PQ is equal to the diameter of this CE. PQ, let us assume that PQ is equal to CE. PQ is equal to 7 centimeter. Imagine that. I'll consider PQ is equal to 7 centimeter. Therefore, CE is equal to 7 centimeter. Therefore, the diameter of this semicircle is also 7 centimeter and the length of PQ is also 7 centimeter. But CDE is nothing but it is a semicircle circumference. PQ is equal to 7 centimeter. We know that the formula for the circumference, semicircumference, pi d by 2. We know that pi is 22 by 7 and d is 7 centimeter. Half of this circumference is 2 ones are 2, 11, the 7th one get cancels. It is 11 centimeter. To reach the heat from E to C, it needs 11 centimeter, and from Q to P, it requires only 7 centimeter. Therefore, the pin P will fall first. The pin on the wire in case A will fall first as heat will reach to point A. Here is the next question. Several nails were attached to a metallic rod through its length by using drops of wax as adhesive. This rod was placed horizontally with one end subjected to the flame of a burner as depicted below. Nails closer to the point Y begin to fall. If burner is removed after a short while, nails closer to the point X remained affixed. Which end of the rod is hotter and why? See, as this Y is exactly above the flame, therefore Y end is the hotter end. Y is hotter as the wax melted quicker due to the heat of the rod. See here, X is the colder end. Therefore, Y is the hotter and wax will get melted, therefore the nails will get fall down, but gravity has no role in this. Therefore the correct answer is option C. Here is the next question. What is the average range of laboratory thermometer and how does it compare to the range of a clinical thermometer? The average range of laboratory thermometer is from -10 to 100 degrees centigrade, which is much greater than the range of clinical thermometer. The correct answer is option A. Here it is. Here is the next question. Which instrument should be used to measure the boiling point of a liquid and why? We should use a laboratory thermometer to measure the temperature of the boiling water because it is having a greater range, wider range. The correct answer is option D for this question. Here is the next question. Refer the following statements to study the behavior of the substances at different temperature to measure the boiling point and freezing point during a science experiment to measure the human body temperature. Which of these statements justify the need of laboratory thermometer? We know that behavior of the substances can be studied by laboratory thermometer, boiling point can be measured by using the laboratory thermometer, and human body temperature can be measured by clinical thermometer. The correct answer is option D. Both A and B can be measured by using laboratory thermometer. Here there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. Conduction, it is heating a metal rod is an example, boiling water and heating the air is also an example of convection, and sunlight reaching the earth is an example of radiation. In the conduction, heat transfer is very slow, in the convection heat transfer is faster, and in the radiation heat transfer is the fastest. Conduction usually happens in the solids, convection happens in the liquids and gases, radiation happens through the electromagnetic waves transfer. Here is an figure which shows all three modes of heat transfer. See, from coil the heat will reach to the container through the radiation, and the water in the container will get heated through the process of convection, and the handle of this container will get heated because of the conduction mode of heat transfer. In one picture we can see all modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, convection and radiation. Here is the next question. A child observes the process of ironing cloths. The base of the iron is very hot, the cloths are warm, however the top handle of the iron is not warm at all. Which of the following is an incorrect conclusion based on his observation? We know that if we are holding this iron in our handle, that obviously it is made up of plastic material, which is an example of insulator. Therefore, we can hold it without any problem. But the bottom of that iron is made up of conductor, which is a good conductor. Therefore, it can be good transfer the heat transfer very easily. Because what is the correct statement? Incorrect statement he is asking. Heat is conducted by the iron on the clothes. It is correct. The material of the iron's handle is an insulator. The handle will not radiate any heat to bare hands. It is also correct, but it is the wrong statement. Heat is trapped inside the iron's handle. It is totally wrong. The correct answer is option A is the incorrect statement for this question. Let's move for the next question. A student boils water in a pan on an electric stove. Three incidents thus occur. The top of the electric stove remains cold as heat reaches the pan. Water in the pan is boiled and produces steam. The handle of the pan becomes hot and requires a mitten to lift it. Which three processes do these three steps follow? Obviously, the boiling water is because of what? Convection, and handle of this container becomes hot because of conduction, and the top of the electric stove remains cold at heat reaches means it is through the radiation. See these respective options. Therefore, from the given four options, the correct answer is option C for this given question. An object and a source of heat are placed in two different experimental setups. Setup 1. Vacuum is placed between the object and the source in a confined tube. And setup 2. Metallic fibers are stuffed into the space between the source and the object in a confined tube. See, the heat will be transferred from one to the other object, but there is a vacuum in between. Here, if there is a vacuum, the heat will be transferred directly through the radiation. But in case of second setup, heat will be transferred to the other object through the metallic fibers by the mode of conduction. But in case of the first setup, the heat will be transferred through the radiation. See, by looking into this, what we can conclude is that setup 1 will happen, heat transfer will happen through the radiation, and in setup 2, the heat transfer will happen through the conduction. See those options. Option B is the correct one. Setup 1 is through the radiation, setup 2 is through the conduction. The correct answer is answer B for this question. This is how heat transfer will happen in these two setups. Here is the next question. In coastal regions, when warm air from either land or sea rises, the cold air that replaces it creates a breeze. Which of the following is a correct description of such a breeze? Let us say, imagine that here is a piece of land and here is a piece of land. During daytime, what happens? The air above the land gets heated very fastly. Therefore, the hot air from the land rises up and it moves towards the sea. But meanwhile, the cool air from the sea moves towards the land. And this cool air from the sea is known as the sea breeze. As it happens during daytime, we call such type of breeze as sea breeze, but exactly it reverses in the night time and we call it as land breeze. During daytime it happens sea breeze. Land breeze is received by the land during the daytime. Sea breeze is received by the sea from the land at night, and land gets heated quicker in the day and causes a sea breeze. The correct answer is option C for this question. Land gets heated quicker in the day and causes a sea breeze. Here is the next question. In coastal areas in the daytime, the air circulation between unevenly heated land and sea causes a sea breeze. Which natural processes are responsible for such air movements? As just we saw that during daytime, the hot air from the land moves towards sea and the cool air from the sea moves towards land. We call it as sea breeze. And we call it as sea breeze. Therefore, let us see what are the options for this. Warm air from sea is radiated upwards and cold air rushes in, creating the sea breeze. It is wrong. Warm air from the land rises up by convection and cold air fills its place as sea breeze. It is correct statement. The correct answer for this question is option B. The correct answer is option B. Let's move for the next question, number 28. Thermos flask provides insulation in order to maintain temperature of hot and cold liquids for longer duration. The innermost layer of the thermos flask is made of glass and is coated by silver paint on the outside. Which property of silver is made use in a flask? Silver is being used because mainly it is working as a reflecting material. The correct answer is silver reflects thermal radiation. This is the correct answer for this question. Option B is the correct answer, as silver reflects thermal radiation. Let's move for the next question. In a tropical country during summers, which of the following materials is likely to absorb the least heat? Tropical region is nothing but the region just below or above the equator, 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degrees south. The region between these two lines is known as tropical region, tropical countries, and the countries falling in these two lines are called as tropical countries. The earth receives maximum amount of sunlight in this tropical region. So therefore, which type of materials absorb the least heat is asking. Actually, the correct answer for this is white cotton cloth, because they reflect the sunlight falling on the body. The next question is, in cold climatic areas that receive a lot of snow, people wear thick coats with woolen inner linings and snow resistant synthetic outer layer, which is a property of the material contributes most to protecting them from the cold. The wool is actually an insulator. Let us see the option which is suiting for this. The body heat was contained within the coat as wool did not let it escape. The insulator material will not allow the heat to move out of the body. The correct answer for this question is option C. Here is the next question. A student observes that when a folded sweater is pressed down and released, it easily gets pressed and then instantly bounces back in shape. The student concludes that thick woolen fibers can trap a lot of air within their strands. Which option explains the how woolen sweaters protect us from cold weather? The insulation provided by the wool and conduction of body heat, insulation provided by the wool fibers and air trapped in them. See, both insulation and air are the good insulators. The correct answer is option C. Observe the following diagram of a thermos flask. What purpose does the vacuum compartment in thermos flask serve? The vacuum in this thermos flask is mainly, it prevents the insulation of heat by bottle surface, it prevents the conduction of heat to the bottle surface. The correct answer is option B. It prevents the conduction of heat to the bottle's surface. Option B is the correct answer for this question. Look into the next question. What role does the kink play in making the process of reading temperature easier, and in which kind of thermometer does it help? Kink. This kink is mainly used in the clinical thermometer and it will not allow the mercury to fall on its own. Kink inside the clinical thermometer prevents the mercury thread from falling. That is the correct answer for this question, because in the laboratory thermometer we don't use, therefore mercury level fall automatically. The correct answer for this question is option A. Kink inside the clinical thermometer prevents the mercury thread from falling. Look at the next question. Which of the following materials can be called a good conductor of heat? That is conductor. Plastic is an insulator, wood is an insulator, metal is a good conductor, air is also an insulator, poor conductor of heat. The correct answer is option C, that is metal is a good conductor of heat. Option C is the correct answer for this question. Here is an interesting question. Samed takes the temperature reading of Ganesh and holds the thermometer horizontally while moving it to correctly note the temperature. Ganesh argues that the reading is inaccurate since Samed took too much time to read it and moved the thermometer a lot. Samed insists that the reading is accurate. What makes Samed to sure about the temperature reading? That the thing that makes the Samed to sure about the temperature reading of his thermometer is that in that thermometer, that is clinical thermometer, kink is there, and that kink does not allow the mercury level to fall on its own. The first option, laboratory thermometer, obviously it is incorrect. Clinical thermometer are held horizontally to prevent fluctuations. It is also wrong statement. Clinical thermometer. Reading on a laboratory thermometer, again it is an incorrect statement. Reading on a clinical thermometer remain unchanged because they use kink in that to prevent the mercury to fall on its own. The correct answer is option D for this question. Dash is a measure of the degree of hotness of an object. Heat, radiation, conduction, temperature. The correct answer is option D. Temperature is a measure of degree of hotness of an object. Answer D is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Dash is a device used for measuring the temperature. Speedometer, thermometer, anemometer, odometer. The correct answer is option B, thermometer. It is a device used for measuring the temperature, thermometer. Conversion of temperature. Here is a question. Convert 40 degree centigrade into degree Fahrenheit. We know that degree centigrade and Fahrenheit are the various units of the temperature. We are having a formula to convert degree centigrade into Fahrenheit. There is a formula. Degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into degree centigrade plus 32. Here 9 by 5. He had given 40 degree centigrade. Substitute that and do the calculation. See here 5 ones are 5 8s are, and 9 into 8, that is 72 degree centigrade plus 32 degree, and put together 72 plus 32 becomes 104 degree Fahrenheit. Therefore 40 degree centigrade is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. The correct answer is 104 degree Fahrenheit. Let us see the options. In this, the correct answer is option C. 40 degree centigrade is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. This is how we have to convert the degree centigrade into Fahrenheit. Heat always flows from dash temperature to dash temperature. Heat always flows from high temperature to low temperature. The correct answer is option B for this question. Heat always flows from high temperature to low temperature. Conduction heat transfer generally occurs in which state of matter? Just now in that introduction we saw that conduction heat transfer generally occurs in solids. Correct answer is option A. Convection heat transfer generally occurs in which state of matter? We know that convection happens in liquids and gases both. The correct answer is option D. Radiation heat transfer generally occurs in which state of matter? Already we discussed radiation heat transfer does not require any medium. No medium is required for the radiation heat transfer. The correct answer is option B. The materials which allow the heat to pass through them easily are called as insulators of heat, carriers of heat, conductors of heat, messengers of heat. The correct answer is option C, conductors of heat. The materials which don't allow heat to pass through them are called insulators of heat, carriers of heat. The correct answer is option A, insulators of heat. They are also called as poor conductors of heat. Which of the following materials can be called a insulator of heat? Gold is a good conductor, wool is a poor conductor or insulator, iron is a good conductor, silver is also a good conductor. The correct answer is option B, wool. Wool is an insulator of heat. Option B is the correct answer for this question. A cold steel spoon is dipped in a cup of hot milk. Heat is transferred to its other end by the process of conduction. Heat will move to the other end of the spoon by the process of conduction because a spoon is a solid material. The correct answer is option C, conduction. The correct answer is option C, conduction. Land breeze blows during. We know that land breeze blows during night time. Already we discussed about this in the previous question. Night time is where land breeze happens. Option B is the correct answer for this question. Sea breeze blows during daytime. Already we discussed during daytime land gets heated very fast and sea cool air from the sea moves towards the land. Therefore it is called as sea breeze. It happens during daytime. Dark colored cloths are preferred during which season? We know that dark colored cloths are good absorbers. Therefore we prefer them during winter season. The correct answer is option C. Look into the next question. 1 liter of water at 30 degrees centigrade is mixed with 1 liter of water at 50 degrees centigrade. The temperature of the mixture will be, let us see. Here is a 1 liter of water having 30 degrees centigrade. Here is 1 more liter of water having 50 degrees centigrade. So when we mix them, the temperature will be in between 30 degrees centigrade and 50 degrees centigrade unless they reach the equilibrium. The correct answer is option D, between 30 degrees centigrade and 50 degrees centigrade. An iron ball at 40 degrees centigrade is dropped in a mug containing water at 40 degrees centigrade. The heat will, see, as both of them are having 40 degrees centigrade and 40 degrees centigrade, both are having equal temperature, the heat will not flow on either side. The correct answer is the heat will not flow from iron ball to water or from water to iron ball because both of them are in equilibrium of temperature. The correct answer is option C for this question. Let's move to the next question. A wooden spoon is dipped in a cup of ice cream. Its other end, as it is made up of wood, it is an insulator. The answer for this question is the does not become cold. The other end of the wood, because wood spoon does not become cold because it is an insulator, that is a poor conductor of heat. It will not allow the heat, the coldness to transfer from one end to the other end. Stainless steel pans are usually provided with copper bottoms. The reason for this would be that, see here in that vessel we can see that the bottom of this vessel is made up of copper and the top end is made up of stainless steel. The reason behind that is copper is a better conductor of heat than stainless steel. Therefore, the correct answer is option B for this question. Copper is a better conductor of heat than stainless steel. Which iron nail is going to be fall down at first and last? Which mode of heat transfer it is? As it is made up of iron material, the mode of heat transfer will be conduction. So the first nail which is going to be fall off is the iron nail A, and at last the nail G will fall, because heat will be transferred from A, then B, then to C, D, E, F, G. Therefore, the correct answer for this is iron nail A will fall first and iron nail at G will fall last, and the mode of heat transfer from one end to the other end is through the conduction. Following is the unit of temperature: degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, Kelvin, and option D is all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above are the units of temperature. Wind always flows from dash pressure to dash pressure. We know that wind always flows from high pressure to low pressure. The correct answer is option C. The wind always flows from high pressure to low pressure. Answer C is the correct. Option C is the correct answer for this question. Let's move for the next question. High pressure air is accompanied with low temperature. It is vice versa. High pressure air is accompanied with low temperature. The correct answer is option A. High pressure air is accompanied with low pressure. Low pressure air is accompanied with high temperature. As I said, it is vice versa. Low pressure air is accompanied with high temperature. Option C is the correct answer for this question. Here we go to the next question. What is the primary purpose of a thermometer? We know that primary purpose of a thermometer is to measure the temperature of the object or the surrounding. The correct answer is option B. To measure the temperature is the primary purpose of thermometer. The freezing point of water on Celsius scale is 0 degree centigrade, 100 degree centigrade, 37 and minus 100 degree centigrade. The correct answer is option A, 0 degree centigrade. The boiling point of water on the Kelvin scale. We know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade, but on the Kelvin scale we have to add 273 for that. By adding that we'll get the answer in Kelvin. Here we take 100 degree centigrade. 100 degree centigrade is equal to 100 plus 273. Therefore, it becomes 373 Kelvin. And if we want to convert 0 degree centigrade into Kelvin, we have to add 273 to 0. Then it becomes 273 Kelvin. The correct answer for this given question is the boiling point of water will be on the Kelvin scale will be 373 Kelvin. Option B is the correct answer for this question. Which substance is commonly used as the liquid in mercury thermometer? We know that in liquid mercury thermometer we use mercury metal, which is a liquid metal. That's it for the chapter. Thank you for watching this video. It's Sunil Uncle G. It's my Gmail ID. Please do like if you like it and share this video.